Alright, Cap Gun. I was listening to Tonic. And you're talking about your AC, and I was kind of in the middle of. I gotta grill some chicken breasts for the puppy and me. And because that's unseasoned, Voodoo doesn't really want anything to do with it. And I'm going to probably make me some. Well, I haven't decided. I haven't decided if I'm going to do sloppy joes or if I'm just going to cook it for taco meat for Voodoo. Anyways, but I'm going to show you real quick. All right, thermostat. Okay, I put a call in on this thing. Call meaning demanding heat or cooling. That's going to send a signal depending on whether I'm heating or cooling. It's either going to send a signal up above my head into the attic, or it's going to send a signal out to the compressor and the fan outside for the air conditioner. Basically, attic is air filter, right? Cooling condenser, which is where your air actually cools, and then fan outside, compressor outside. Fan cools compressor as compressor runs and compresses the gas, which then runs up to the attic above my head to the same box. Fan up there too, into your vents. Okay? Compressor outside does not run when you are heating. Neither does fan. Very simple. Only fan that runs when you're heating is if it's not up above your head, it's in a closet somewhere in your house or in your apartment or whatever it is. That might be the central unit if you are in a multi-unit apartment. But if you are in a home, even if it's a tiny home, and it's got a central heat and it's got central air, right, then that's the case. The fan in the HVAC unit, in the heater, and in the air conditioner, whether it's in a closet or whether it is in an attic with the heater, it runs that fan with the heater, a call for the heat, and a call for the AC. The fan outside, in conjunction with fan in the attic, only runs when there is a call for air conditioning. Okay? So that means when you come over here to this little thermostat, and I set this for 75 degrees, and it's at 78 right now, that sends a signal not only to the fan up in the attic, but that sends a signal over to the fan on the compressor outside. It tells the compressor to kick on first and then the fan to kick on. There's no sense in the fan turning on if the compressor is not running, if that makes any sense. Okay? Because if you'll notice, one that's running properly and has the right amount of refrigerant and all of that shit, the fan on the compressor does not immediately come on when the compressor kicks on. It's usually a few seconds afterwards. First compressor, then fan. Then fan in the attic will already be running, and bada bing, bada boom, you have cool air. So, in the next video, I'm going to take you up into the attic. All right, here we go. Woo! Dark up here. Scary. Just kidding. It's not fucking scary. Ah, there we go. Now, there we have it. This is your HVAC unit in your attic. There's all kinds of parts in here. Air handler, furnace, exhaust, air filter housing, squirrel cage, AC condenser, the coils, as other people may call it. It's a condensing coil, I believe is the technical term. I think we should get Abe,
I know a lot about
since
that,
he's got that HVAC cert, to come and talk about this. I'm sorry, honey, I'm doxing our attic. You can see that there is quite the spider web of vent distribution from the plenum here. Our attic goes way on back there. We actually have 3 attic entrances. Sorry, Rick, I don't mean to brag, buddy. But, here, let me get my trusty flashlight. God damn, it's fucking hot. But anyways. So, what we're going to look at is right here. And yes, that is evidence of previous leaks in the coil. So what we're going to look at is this right here. Doop-be-doo-be-doo. Let me see if I can... Should have brought me a... See how fucking hot it is up here, by the way. Shoot that laser. What's that say? God damn, 131 fucking degrees up here. Holy shit. What does that say? 119.6. Over there in the dark, way over to my left. 126. Oh no, it's fucking hot up here. Okay. Move this box to the side. That box right there. Alright, let me take God, I really hate to take this off because I don't want to. Let's see if I can, maybe I can do it like this. Okay. So, you can't see it, and you won't be able to see it if I take that off. But I'm going to take it off anyways. Hang on. All right. Oops. Wrong way. Okay, so here you can see cap gun that there's a bunch of wires. All right. Now they run over into this other panel behind it. Right, that's where your circuit board or motherboard that you were talking about will be. Okay, and for the air conditioning, there's nothing really here. I don't believe for you to do. If the furnace, which there's your right there, right here, these are your furnace burners. Okay. That's all working properly. Now and yours isn't probably going to look exactly like this, but you know, as far as these parts here, they're all going to look really similar. Like you're going to be able to see it. No, you know, you're going to go, oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so right now you can probably hear that my fan is running. So what's going to happen here is when I turn these knobs and I remove this panel, it's going to automatically shut that fan off because there's a safety switch there, right? So all it's going to do is cut the power off to the fan. Now, I still have a call to the air conditioner, out to the compressor outside, right? Telling the compressor that it should be running. And I should probably go turn that off right now, but I'm not going to. And the only time I would do that is if I was questioning whether or not, you know, there was an electrical issue, which in your case there very well may be.
because then obviously you have fuses and not breakers, you said. So that could also be a problem. And I don't know if you're confusing the two. I would assume you meant what you said. So that's when I would go turn it off. But the bottom line is, once you get access, whether it's in a closet or an attic, to this portion where you would, I mean, this is where you would change the air filter. You know, the air filter is right inside of that door. There's the air filter. So it's not like this isn't accessible. But anyways, you know, you would want the fan, you know, without heat and without AC running. That's why even on the old dial thermostats, there's heat, AC, fan, off. So fan is just this fan running and pumping air through your house, not the fan outside that's on top of the compressor compressing the gas. So we need to draw a line between that, you know, so you understand. All right, so I'm gonna twist these knobs. There you go, fan turns off. That right there is your squirrel cage. Okay, this fan right here, also known as a squirrel cage. Oh, and by the way, where's my thermometer? Let's see what that says. 85 degrees. Let me shoot that, maybe 108. Yeah, so the air coming in here is roughly, you know, about 80, 85, 89, somewhere in there. And then of course it as it moves through and goes to the coil over there, you know, the evaporative coil, then the water and the condensation and all of that runs, that air runs through it, and then it goes through your plenum to your ducts, and that's what cools it. That's what makes it feel cooler. So here's that switch I was telling you about. I push that. You know, I have a call active. There goes your squirrel cage. Okay. So right here is that board you were looking for. Now, because I am not a licensed HVAC technician, all I will tell you is that light, that LED light right there, that guy. Ooh, that light is bright. That LED right there, it will flash a number of times in the event that there is a problem. And usually you can find what those flashes mean on this legend that is supposed to be stuck to the back of either of these panels, or it could possibly be stuck somewhere inside of here. Okay, so you can also Google those, because you can, you know, you can get the name and the model number and all of that shit. And if you have one of those, of course, that makes things a lot easier too. So it's not that like that information can't be found. And usually those codes, they're very simple. You know, for like winter and heating, it'll be like, I don't know, combustion chamber is doing this, or, you know, ignition problem, this or that. And of course that'll involve like these parts and that part, and you know, anyways, you can get all into that. It's not really that complicated once you start troubleshooting it. But so you know, there is a capacitor right there. That's a capacitor. Now that is not the capacitor for the outside unit, just so you know. And like Richard Cheese was saying, this plugs in. I believe on this in particular one, I believe mine bolt on. My electrical connections bolt on. But and they do on the outside one as well. They're not just plug. The old capacitor was on this in particular unit, not this one, but the one outside. We just had it. We just had some problems with it not too long ago, and replaced the capacitor out there. Actually put two capacitors in. So, but yes, that is the capacitor right there. One of the capacitors, I'm sorry. I don't want to misspeak here. It's kind of hard for me to, in there. And then, you know, you can look the prices of those up. But that is the capacitor for your fan, for your just the fan running in your attic. Like, so in other words, you turn your fan on by your thermostat where it says just fan and no AC, no heat. That is a capacitor for that in particular fan. Let me close this back up. Oh God, it's so fucking hot. I'm fucking dripping fucking sweat. Crazy. I don't have that all the way down. There we go. All right. So now you can hear, there it goes, the fan is running again, my light, get my other, oops. Whew. Let's check and see what the outside temperature is. I'm going to shoot it over here on my fence. 99. That's the outside temp. Oh, I'm going to have to reverse that. Ugh. Wish it was 66. There's the grass right in front of me, 92.9. Way over there on the fence. 104. Woof. Well, either way, it's fucking hot. All right. All right, this is the outside unit. This is the compressor and the fan. Okay. Power coming out of the house. One, if you guys can see that, 240 volt breaker. That's it. It's a 50 amp circuit. Okay. Now, that's your service power. This here is your power. This is a conduit, if you will, a shroud. It's bolted to the house. That's to protect the refrigerant lines, okay, and the electrical that is running not only from the thermostat to put a call into this to turn on, right? But it's also housing the return electrical signals over to the thermostat as well to tell it to stop making the call. Okay. So that's what this is. So let me step back one more time. You see that's going up into the attic, and there's the electrical, the service power. 240 volts coming in, and then this wire here is what's making the call over to the compressor to tell the compressor to turn on, I'm sorry, and telling the fan to run. Let me go get a nut driver, and I'll take this here panel off, and I will show you where that capacitor is at. Okay, here we go. Down there. Now there's the panel. And right here, there's your capacitors. All right, got some of these for you. Like I said, right here. There's your service, your 220 service coming in. Okay. Well, since my phone decided it wanted to be a real son of a bitch and just cut off on me intermittently, I went and got the fucking tripod. So, as I was trying to say, right here, this is your 220 service coming in, okay? This little wire, this guy right here, it's running up to the attic. There's him sticking out right there, okay? That is this blue and yellow wire. I don't know if you can see it, but when I jiggle it under here, that blue and yellow wire, they're moving. Okay, now that blue and yellow wire, they go up here to these capacitors. Now, on mine, I have two capacitors here. Cat Gun, you may not. You might only have one capacitor here. A lot of units only have one. But the professionals will tell you it's a good idea to have two. I'm not going to go into all of that right now as to why and what wears these things out. They do wear over time. That is a lot of voltage going through there, and when they kick on, when you hear them banging real hard when they kick on, that means that capacitor is wearing out. Okay, so because of that, I have a start capacitor and a run capacitor on mine. That start capacitor is made to take that bang and make sure that it protects. It's a form of thermal protection for this guy, basically. Okay. Basically, Cat Gun, what I'm saying is the problem you're having very well could be this capacitor here, or it could be this breaker back here. You know, if you're good with a multimeter and check these leads right here, your black and your red, to see if you're getting 110 out of each one, or it'll either be 110, 110, or 120, 120. So it'll either be 220 or 240 volts combined with the two. That's all a residential 220 is, or 240. It's two 110s put together. Into all that later, but that's basically what you're doing. Make sure you're getting power here. If you know you're getting power here, this fan is not kicking on. That tells me that compressor obviously ain't running. The problem's going to be in that breaker or that capacitor. If that capacitor is no good, or it does not have the amount, I believe it's resistance or whatever, to actually kick on and kick that compressor on, that compressor ain't going to come on. But if it's just the connection between it and the fan, then there's going to be something in these wires right here, in this connection in that breaker, that's causing that to happen. So if you have a safety in there like mine,
Or there's also a safety on top of that compressor that if that fan's not working, that compressor won't run. So it could be something like that as well. Now, let's say you get all of that fixed, right? You get that fixed and you figure that out for yourself. You can find all that information online about what resistance it should be, how many volts you should be getting through it, all of that shit. It's really simple, Cap Gun. One trick I can tell you is this copper line, the refrigerant line. If you'll peel that back a little bit, I don't know if you can see it or not, but that is ice cold and it's condensating. That should be wet. So, and if you don't have this this shield on there, get some. But that should be wet. That should be a pretty good indication that you've got some amount of the right amount of refrigerant in the compressor. Now, I do want to say something about the compressor and the refrigerant. Well, because I don't want to dox myself. On mine, listed on here, my refrigerant is R410A, and it takes 8 pounds, 8 ounces of refrigerant. Do not, and I don't have to be a licensed tech to tell you this, do not mix refrigerants. Don't be going to AutoZone or Napa Auto Parts or someplace like that and buying 134A or R22 or some bullshit like that. Do not mix refrigerants ever. Ever, ever, ever. You will fuck your system up quicker than shit. It might work for a month, but after that, unless you've got 5 to 10 grand to drop on everything being replaced and new, don't fucking do it. And don't believe that bullshit those jerry riggers tell you on fucking YouTube. That is a fatal mistake. With that, I'm gonna put this cover back on. I hope this helped. Yeah, maybe HVAC tech Abe.
I'm former law enforcement. I'm not lying to you about that.
Can do a live stream and actually try to help somebody since, well, he's only EPA certified. He's not common sense certified, and I didn't see an electrical degree anywhere on there either. So I don't know. Y'all's guess is as good as mine. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. Call me a big fat ginger because you can clearly see that I'm fat as fuck. Or whatever floats your boat. Alright. That's that. Don't litter. And maybe I'll go live later. Thanks for watching, guys.